Okay, so this is November 7th, 2023. It's ear acupuncture integration. So at this point, once again, you can't get it wrong because all we're gonna do is, first of all, you've done it perfectly. So thank you very much for showing up. So you've noticed your body, your breath, breathe, and your brain. So now we just go around and put some words to an experience. See, the experience can come different ways, right? It can come as the braining, can come as some sort of a bodying. And then you would have noticed some of it. So there's no pressure. You don't have to describe more than what comes up for you. It's just whatever comes up naturally at this point. Now, we're very curious to know what people who are brand new to the group noticed. Right? Everybody has been here for a first time once. So we don't want other people's ideas to sort of confound or create an expectation as to what you have to say. So Anna, because you're the first one, is it okay we ask you to start?
Yeah, sure. No, it was a new experience for me. A little bit of prickling and tingling in the ears, and then I felt some tingling through my body. I could feel my anxiety. Also some calming sitting and I don't know if it means anything that calm, but
Thank you. That's perfect. Okay. There's no wrong answers. So you've noticed 3 different things that I hear. A lot more probably. If something else come up for you later, feel free to share. But what I hear is 3 things. One, you notice the feeling, which is a sensation, right? You point in this direction. So I'm imagining it's maybe to do with the pins, or there's some awareness in this area. So the body, is bodying. So whenever there's any kind of changes, your awareness may go to it. I say, oh, what's that? We call that sensation, right? Fair enough, right? And then you also notice anxiety. So that's also a sensation. Because if you ask yourself, when you feel anxious, what the heck did you feel? Usually somewhere in your body. Different people feel anxiety different places. That's like me. Other people may be somewhere else. And then you feel calm. Calm is also a sensation. So 3 different sensations you talked about. One was this, like the skin's kind of a sensation, and then another one is some sort of sensation in this area. One moment is one way, another moment is another way. And then the brain actually labeled it, right? The brain says, you didn't ask the brain to do it. The brain did it all by itself. The brain says, hey, that's anxious. Oh, the brain says, oh, that's calm. Just happened all by itself. Thank you. Now, who wants to go next? Thank you, Anna. Yes.
I felt calm. It was a much better experience than yesterday. Yesterday I felt more anxious, but today I just felt calm and relaxed, and I felt like something was just pulling me forward. And then when the sun came out, I felt my eyes start to water, and then my brain was just thinking about like Christmas and I'm gonna get kids and like just random thoughts like that.
Thank you. Different every time, isn't it,
Yeah,
Alyssa? Every session is different. Yeah, so Anna, you'll see every session will be different. And you will learn something from it each time. And not just between the head, something else will happen that will bring the sense of presence to become stronger and stronger. Okay, let's keep going. Reska, you were going to go.
I did feel it was very calm in the room today. I didn't hear anything. I did feel, however, a little tickle in my throat, and I tried to suppress it. And because of that, for some reason, my eyes started watering a lot. So much so that tears were running down my cheeks. I don't know why. So I had to actually wipe my tears. But for no reason, there was no reason at all. I didn't think of anything in particular for the tears, but they just came down. And that was it, really. For the rest of the time, I was just kind of calm and trying to settle down.
Thank you, Reska. So you notice the tears. Your body is bodying tears, right? So your tear gland is doing this, and the mind didn't have any kind of, it did not trigger a reason as to why this is so. But the body did it for a reason, just like the kidney would do kidneying. The tear ducts are something. And usually tear duct responds to some sort of emotion, or it could be responding to maybe something else. I mean, we tear for different reasons. The brain didn't give us an answer, but that's okay. Okay, there's a whole process that's happening all by itself. That's happening just the way it's supposed to. Thank you. Eric, yes, please.
Today my brain was pretty quiet, which is unusual for me. I noticed my body was pretty relaxed. I didn't sleep particularly well, so I found myself kind of fighting to stay present in the room, but not too much in terms of like discomfort. It was a pretty quick session for me today.
Yeah.
I think I felt a bit cold at the end. Like I don't know. I was very I don't know. I just needed a blanket and I was ready to doze off.
Doze off. Were you laying down, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Thank you. So that's quite unusual, Eric, to have less thoughts, right? Just as you pointed out. I mean, to me, because I've sat through every one of your sessions, so I know. For other people who's being in the group together, you probably get some sense of appreciation, how things start to change. In that place of presence, you'll notice thoughts will come, but they will not linger as long. So they will come and go eventually. They will just kind of like run through its checklist and then be done. So that's pretty interesting what that happened. Thank you. Yes, Zaid.
For this session, it was hard for me to like relax. Today I had like a lot of random thoughts in my brain, and I couldn't like suppress like the thoughts that I could like just relax, but like it just kept on coming. Near the end, I think I almost fell asleep, so like those thoughts like stopped like coming through, and then I was just like for a couple minutes it was pretty like relaxed, and like I felt like I couldn't feel like my legs or like my body, and it was just like I was like floating in a way, but it was like pretty relaxing overall.
Okay, thank you. So this change during the session went from not relax to relax. So you notice a big switch somewhere in there, and you notice that when you say not relax, your body felt something, and your mind may have certain thoughts you didn't mention, but later on the body kind of relaxed, and the mind says, oh, that's relaxed, and then you become very aware of your body. That's a sensory level. Eric, you become very aware of, well, you weren't really all that aware of you had less thoughts. And the absence of one of those thoughts is a thought of time. So time has no meaning. If you come into the session, sometimes the brain will bring time. If it brings time multiple times, you'll find that the session will take a long time. If the brain does not bring time at all, during that session, you will have no sort of appreciation of time at all. It's like, oh, was that long, was that short? Eh? And then eventually your brain will come up with a conclusion. It doesn't have any true appreciation. So the experience during the moment, during that session, depends on what comes up. You will see. And time can be a suffering if you keep raining all the time. It becomes a bit of a challenge. So I catch myself when I'm doing my inbox, coming back from a day or 2 days off, and I have like 150 things in my inbox. If my brain says, oh, how long is it going to take me? I know I'm going to suffer if I keep that up. I catch it and I say, oh, the brain's braining. And then the moment I see it, it goes away because I don't want to suffer, man. A rabbit hole has no bottom. So you will see, as you become more present with your thought, the thought that serves you will stay. The thought that don't serve you, you will catch it and you will go just as quick as like you let go of hot fire. Like something will burn you. You just go, it becomes a reflex to be present. So thank you. Who wants to go next? Yeah, please. Dave.
Look, today was far nicer than yesterday's. And it was very sensation, very just, the anxiety levels were entirely different. Yesterday had far more conflict and dread, and today was just far more gratitude and just back to normal, really. I guess yesterday was my mom's fifth year since her celebration of life, and it was just a lot of family stuff, and it wasn't fun. And there was just a few things yesterday that just weren't fun, but we're through those now. So, and today reflected that. It was just, this is great. We're just going to enjoy our day. And, nice to have So the day was on a different route, and it reflected that. And so I'm just very thankful that you help these classes, so I can take like 40 minutes away from everything and do these things. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Feeling is mutual. It does wonders for me every day when I sit here. I go away feeling quite elated, feeling like I had the best day of my life once again. So thank you, Dave.
I can tell.
Yes, Chris.
Steve,
Steve,
it's okay. I probably look like a Chris.
your best friend.
You do.
His best friend.
You're also equal.
I had some like peaceful mental activity at the beginning and for maybe the first 2/3 of the session. It was like contemplation, just a bit of longing, just thinking about things in the past. But there was this moment where I realized my lip was slightly tense, just one of my lips, and I let it go. And then all of my thoughts just kind of cleared out of the way, and just kind of, I just saw this like kind of clear visual field in front of me. So yeah, it's interesting. I was excited when it happened because of, just suggests the relationship between tension in the body, mental activity. And how maybe unexamined tension can just lead to mental activity that's maybe, not, you don't feel in control of. Anyway, that's what was my experience.
I love it. Thank you, Steve.
It was peaceful. It was peaceful at the end.
See, that was very, very good because you see, in the session, you'll become more and more present. So what happens, this is what I'm hearing, you notice a sensation will show up right here. It's a bit of a tension. The mind says, oh, this is tension. But underneath that label tension, there's a sensation right here. And that's part of your body. So the moment you're at the sensory level, thoughts can loop you no more. You see? Being present is the default state. The reason so like a child is born present. They're never not present when a child. They just look at his arm, it's just the baby looking, oh my God, so what's this? They have no thoughts. They're just like marveling at everything they look at. In the coop, inside the coop, they were looking up, like looking at the mobiles. It's like just a marvelous place. They're delighted, unless they're hungry or they're cold, right? They'll cry. Otherwise, it's just like, whoa, right? They're always in that ecstatic state. But the mind can create thoughts, right? Oh, you got to do your homework, otherwise you won't have a future, blah, 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 Then the mind started getting looped. It's true, but it's not true at the same time, right? So they get looped by that thought. Eventually, the mind doesn't stop. So when the awareness gets completely possessed, occupied, preoccupied, or pacified by thoughts, at that moment, we have lost the present moment. It's an illusion that we're not in the here and now. The moment you're at the sensory level, boom, you're back in the present, and thoughts becomes, that's all they are. They run their list and they're gone. They don't have that tension anymore. Like things that's longing and craving becomes gratitude, becomes just like, wow, that's a beautiful memory I have, And you kind of speculation of the future, just be full of curiosity because you don't know, right? It's all become beautiful. Everything, things that needs to stay will stay, things that needs to go, it's gone. So thinking is not like something you can do without. It's just we don't want to get possessed by it, that's all. Sensation is the key. And you went to it by yourself. It's very exciting for me because at 1 o'clock we do this class. We do sensory awareness training. We're training our awareness to sensation near this area. Because this area is a very key area. This area always heats up whenever we're looped. Why? Because our breath changes in intensity and it becomes aggressive when we're tense. Okay? So when the breath changes, the sensation changes. So you get this first alert. As soon as your awareness goes to the sensation, you're back in the present moment. So this is the reflex of here and now. You can create a reflex. You can augment, train this reflex. This is a teaching of Buddha a long, long time ago. You see, Buddha is not like a god. He's just a man who learned something, how to train your body to be in the here and now. So that's what we do at 1 o'clock. We can train together. If you're interested, come to our class, 1 o'clock on Zoom. So thank you, Steve. Now, let's keep going. Yes, Savannah.
going back and forth between all these different things, and then I like settled, but still calm, and then I like kind of got into like a deep trance, like almost felt like I was sleeping, but not quite again.
Thank you, Savannah. Thank you so much. Oh yes, please, Christine.
Yeah, I feel like I started my session quite upset, like I've just had some conflictual relationships with my loved ones, and I struggle when I work so hard of having some inner peace and calm, so I hear what you're saying and I'm there, but then out of nowhere you get, I don't know, communication that's distressing, and then you try to find that inner peace and you think it's just a thought, you know, but anyways, so my beginning of my session I was quite teary and just wet eyes and stuff, and thoughts like, you know, how can you feel, I think we all want to feel safe all the time in our relationships in the world, and then I realized, well, the world's just not a safe place, that's just our reality, so coming to terms with that. And then I kind of went into the thoughts of I have no control over others, I only have control over what I do with what happens around me. So this has helped me today to realize that no matter how stormy the seas are, I have no control over the wind, I can adjust my sails. It's just when you sail along in peace and quiet, and all of a sudden you get a windstorm here and another one there, and it's like, all I'm trying to do is sail in peace and quiet. So it's challenging. With it, I had some visual effects, like I saw purple and blue and yellows and greens, and sometimes some fluttering, and it started off on those thoughts, and then it just became peaceful and quiet, and I went into some very mundane thoughts about what am I going to cook for dinner when my friends come on Saturday night, so it was kind of comforting. So the question to you is, like, how do you know, I know you have sometimes your thoughts and they control how you feel, but you can only control yourself. It's when other people come at you, you know, that's my struggle in life, and I'm highly sensitive, so I can be quite happy and content and feel good about who I am, but I can be sucked under within a second, and that frustrates me because I'm in this loop over and over again. I'm 64 and I can't get out of that loop, and that was my experience today.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, very common experience. Lots of people would. So you're speaking for many people. Thank you very much. But it happened naturally for you because at the end it became peace. So this process, you don't have to do anything. You just keep showing up. You will see. But there will be life situations where there's a lot of triggers that can get us into like a thinking mode, right? And if that thinking mode lasts a while, it's like a top with inertia. Then the brain don't stop no more. Then we get looped, right? This is why sensory awareness training is the key. So I'm kind of putting a plug back in the camp for this process of training. Here, it's kind of like a sandbox. It's like a green slope, you know, for skiing. It's not the black diamond. Life shows us black diamonds every so often, and then you got to make sure your balance is good. But they're important. That's how you become a good skier. Eventually, you got to get to the blue hills and the black diamond, right? So sometimes you hit the triple diamond. You got to be ready. So that's why you need to train. Sensory awareness training is the key. So you will see that sometimes situations in life will demand lots of thoughts. And if you're a super sensitive person, which is also a gift, right? You feel people's pain. It's an intelligence, which is ineffable. It's not like just like, oh, I know what you're saying. It's like, I feel what you're feeling. So when you can feel that energy, okay, you got to know how to ground. Otherwise, it's not just thought that takes us out of the present moment. The feeling that you have in here will trigger the thoughts, and they would create this little tempest that will take it off, would become ungrounded. This is why sensation is the key. Sensory awareness training is super important, and this is a very elegant way to train. And you can do this, nobody has to know you're doing it. You can do this anytime, all the time. Once you create this reflex, you would just do it all the time. That's why this guy is genius, this Buddha guy. He taught this exercise. It's all he taught. He didn't teach anything else. You didn't even bother talking to you because language wasn't even important. They just say, pay attention to your breath. You went to a Tibetan mountain, the monk would just tell you, just breathe. You just sit there. After a while, you kind of all figure it out. Because the thoughts will come, the sensation will come, right? So, I appreciate you sharing, Christine. So, I find that most people that come to sessions like this are like, they have gifts, intelligence, and the other intelligence, the heart intelligence. It's a very super powerful thing. But you can serve us, and you can also become a challenge. So until we kind of learn to ground that, which is, I think, the invitation, we'll feel it. We'll feel like we'll get looped out of presence from time to time. So thank you, Christine. Yeah, I think. Bonnie.
Just my legs were really heavy. It was very hot today, but my skin was cold. And I went to talk to my guardian angels.
Thank you. That's body sensation, sensory awareness. Anything different? Any surprises? No? Good, thank you. So this talking piece is actually an optional piece. You will benefit whether or not we talk about it. This can happen in complete silence. We can just have the pins and leave afterwards. But this is very useful because it builds a little bit more community. And also you get to know that you're not alone in this process. Like we can also learn from each other. You might find, oh, this person's a little bit like, oh, my little bit like my family member here. So you start to learn a little faster. I think the group experience is powerful. So thank you very much. Anna, was there anything else you want to add? Thank you, Christine. Keep coming back. You see this process, every session will be different. It's just like learning how to ride a bike or learning how to ski. And if you go to different terrains, you will feel different. It's just like that. You will see there's no two sessions alike. Each time you learn something different.
So is there a number of times that you recommend coming, or is this something you continue?
It's addictive. You don't want to have an end, trust me.
What you see. Yes. True. Yes.
No, I
Alyssa.
said I agree with her.
But there are people who, it has to do with, I always call it the stars have to line up over our head. Because a lot of the people I invite, but sometimes they cannot come for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have family, you have a job to do, and you got to get babysitter for your kids, and it's not always possible. So I'm always very grateful when people do show up. And I think you will know at one point when, you just know, like, okay, I can't go today, but you also know when you need to come back from time to time. But having said all of that, there are some studies that shows that 15 sessions is a magic number. I don't believe that. I think that's just the way it was structured, because whenever they do scientific studies, to study anything, they have to pick a number, right? So there's no magic about 15. It's like how many times does it take you to learn how to ski? But it depends, what kind of terrain you're going to end up skiing. If you want to do like heli skiing one day, you better be practicing all the time, right? Right? So it depends on what life brings us sometimes. So I feel like it's good to sort of get ahead of the game. I don't think this is the only thing I feel like this is like an introduction to this whole idea. What does it feel like to be present? And once you know, oh, this is not a bad place to be, but the key is how do you stay there? So that's why Anapana is very important, the 1 o'clock class. Once you learn how to do this, you don't need this process. You have it. You have what you need. You don't need to do any more acupuncture, right? I feel like acupuncture can maybe help you other ways too, that in ways I don't know. I mean, there's 3 other pins, the liver, kidney, and the lungs. A very, very ancient art. Maybe it may help you physically, may help your immune system. I don't know. I don't want to promise nothing, right? But I think, I'm always surprised. People come back and say, oh my, this has helped me in this way, or this helped me in that way. So it's kind of like not a real hard answer for you, right? But I think you will know how many times you need, and you're always welcome to come back.
Does it matter if you are not, like, say, you're going away for 2 weeks or something and you skip that and then come back? Is there any harm in not?
No harm. No harm. It's just like learning how to ride a bike. You got the introductory session and you go on holiday for 2 weeks. You come back, you continue, right? It's just how the dice roll. It's just how life is. So so there's no harm. You can always come back, okay? And then it is what it is. And some people, I've had people come for 2 or 3 sessions and I don't see them again. I'm thinking, well, I lost them. And then I get an email like 2 months later saying, you know what, that's really helped me so much. Thank you very much. You know, I get those kind of little notes. So I feel like, you know, I have no idea. I just feel like one step at a time. Each time you show up, you know, we expand a little bit further. I think life teaches us how to be in the present anyways, but sometimes we're too busy to notice. By making time to do this in a very intentional way, we learn a little faster, right? Otherwise, we tend to like try to learn to ski on the black diamond some days and you just don't quite pick it up. It's like a lot of falling down, but the learning's slow.
I often think in metaphors, and to me, as you're speaking, to me the session's like holding a flashlight for yourself. And so, you know, light never ends, but you sometimes put the light in a direction and you know you have to shine it or you want to shine it. At the end of the day, it's enlightening to yourself, and you will determine how it works for you as you're the expert in your life, right?
We are. We totally are. And you discover, nothing to do with what I do, is what you notice. You're learning from your own experience in the sessions. You start to see, oh, this is a thought, oh, that's a sensation. You start to become so present with them. And then your thoughts, your sensations, your feelings, all your gifts, all your high intelligence becomes your best friend. Right? That's what they are. Right? And we are being invited to become present with them. That's all we're doing. Every time we suffer a little bit, it's like, okay, yeah, okay, that's what it is. So thank you so much all for coming. November 7th, 2023. Another wonderful day. A wonderful day to be alive. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. You have a wonderful day too, Sherry.